3%? ¿Nos extrañaron? Estamos de regreso con el podcast 3% y no me puedo creer el invitado que tenemos el día de hoy. Sin lugar a dudas, a quien tenemos el día de hoy es la persona más exitosa que alguna vez se ha sentado a charlar en este podcast 3%. Definitivamente ustedes van a obtener muchísimo valor y es una persona que yo tengo siguiendo por 9 años. Te voy a ser muy sincero y fue la persona que cuando inicié en el emprendimiento me inspiró a hacerlo como un profesional, me inspiró a grandes resultados y gracias a su testimonio entendí que era posible convertirse en millonario dentro de esta profesión. Así que es un gran honor para mí tenerlo por fin en este podcast y el día de hoy tenemos a alguien que el 100% de ustedes ya conoce. Tenemos al hombre, el mito, la leyenda, the one and only Mr. Alex Morton.
What's going on? Hola, hola, mi gente de Estados Unidos y todos países en Latinoamérica.
Your Spanish is been improving.
Mejor.
Yeah,
getting better.
Yeah, every time I see you, you speak like some more words.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
good,
learning.
man.
Aprender mucho.
Yeah, you also travel a lot to Latin America for like several years, right?
Yeah, I've been in probably 20 cities in Mexico, Spain, Peru, Paraguay. I was in Peru last weekend. You know, all over Colombia, Ecuador, all over.
Bro, the event in Peru was crazy last weekend.
Yeah,
how was it?
almost 3,000 people.
Holy shit.
Yeah, a lot of people. Lots of people in Latin America. Everybody is very, very hungry.
Sure.
For opportunity, for freedom, for mentorship, you know, and just the right information to take their life to the next level. No
Bro,
doubt.
and you've also been like some big inspiration for us in Latin America. I mean, I assume that many people know you for the network marketing industry, but they need like diversifies now there are many ways to make income online, right? And digital. And people that sells or I don't know, clipping content and trading and everything, they all look up to you. And you have been a big inspiration of the last decade for people in Latin America, bro. So it's an honor to have you here, bro.
Thank you. No, I'm excited, man. We flew in just for this podcast and also a big event tomorrow with thousands of people from all over Mexico. So super excited. I love Latin America. I love the Spanish people. I tell everybody, you know, the people in Latin America, they're about family and freedom. Right?
Sure.
And it makes me happy that I get to come back continuously to these Spanish-speaking countries and give people the right information so they can make money and they can take care of their families.
Thank you for coming, bro. Tomorrow event is gonna be huge. I want to tell you something. It's like an accomplishment for me because I've heard Eric Worre for many years, and he always told that when you put 1,000 people into a big event, then you jump into the 7-figure.
Right.
So that's gonna happen for me tomorrow, bro. For the first time, 9 years in the industry, tomorrow is gonna be my first 1,000 people of my team event.
Wow. Congratulations, man. Muy felicidades.
Thank you,
That's
bro.
amazing.
Thank you, bro. So let's start from the origins. You are you're American, but you always tell that you are Armenian,
right?
Like, can you unpack that because people in Latin America doesn't know?
Yeah. So my mom's side is from Armenia, which is technically in Eastern Europe.
Okay.
Right near the Middle East, like near Iran and some different countries.
Okay.
My dad's side, we don't 100% know the exact roots, but we think Russia and Polish. So one of the stories that I use for personal inspiration and motivation is that, you know, both sides of my family tree at multiple times were, you know, oppressed and almost killed off. You know, my dad's side, the Holocaust, right? Yeah. 1940, Hitler, you know, they killed 6 million Jewish people. And then on my mom's side, the Ottoman Empire, Turkey, had an Armenian genocide where they murdered millions of Armenians as well. So like I pull from that to keep myself focused, motivated, inspired, because, you know, the odds were maybe even against me that I wouldn't even be here today. You know, like if one of those sides didn't survive that war, those wars and those genocides, I wouldn't even be here right now with you.
And that's very curious because when we have people with your background, they feel like they have to do something with the freedom that was given from their ancestors, right? So you're not even entitled to having a life.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a crazy world right now. There's multiple wars going on right now. And I'm just so grateful to be here at 34 years old. And, God's given me certain gifts and certain abilities to, teach people and help people and motivate people and inspire people. So I'm just trying to live every single day to the maximum. And I love what I get to do, And sometimes when you are financially free and you have an abundance of, money, people can sometimes get lazy. So whenever I feel like, I don't need to fly to Mexico and Peru and Toronto and Montreal. Like I'm on a 1 a.m. flight tomorrow night after the event with you to go to Toronto, Canada to do the same thing again, right? So whenever I get in that kind of mental space, I remember where you come from. Remember where you came from. Remember who came before you that has allowed you to even be here on this planet, right? With this one life that we get to live.
And were you like this driven when you were like a little kid? Like I don't know. When you want something, you like give it all.
Growing up, we grew up in a small town, and there was like 2 pizza shops, 2 ice cream shops. It was like poor people, rich people, and then in the middle. That's where we were. We were kind of in the middle, Okay. But I always knew I was going to get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We weren't poor at all. Like we had money. You know what I mean? Like we had money compared to lots of other people. But then when I grew up, I realized we didn't really have money compared to like people with actual wealth, right? Like my dad drove a Ford Expedition. My mom had like an Acura or something like that. So it wasn't like Mercedes and Range Rovers and Lamborghinis, But, growing up, I always had this thing in the back of my mind. I just felt like I was here to do something big. I didn't know what it was. I knew I was a little bit different than everybody else because, when we became teenagers, people started talking about where are you going to go to school? What are you going to study? What college are you going to apply to? And I really didn't give too much thought to these things about education. I was more so interested in like personal development.
Okay.
In the basement where I grew up, I found Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within cassette tapes.
Okay.
I found like old first copies of Think and Grow Rich.
How old were you?
I'm like probably 12.
Oh my God.
12, 13, And then my dad gave me Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki at a very young age. So even as a little kid, I was thinking about being a business owner, becoming a successful individual, becoming a millionaire, right? In the summer, or the springtime, in the fall, the leaves would fall. And I started like a little business with my friends. Like we would go knock people's doors and say, hey, we'll rake all your leaves up, put them in a trash bag and throw them out for you. Give us 10, 15, 20 bucks. In the wintertime, the snow would fall and we would go shovel driveways all over Bexley, Ohio for 20 bucks a house. So I was kind of being an entrepreneur when I was young. So the thought of me ever working for somebody, it just never really entered my headspace ever.
Sure. And well, the very first thing that I remember about you, I joined the network marketing industry in our first company, Bima.
Yeah.
For my site 9 years ago. So I remember watching you in Facebook and your videos and everything. And the very first thought that came to my mind, and also you speak about it, it's like grinding, like go hard, like more meetings means more money.
That's right.
So you were, and up until these days, you were giving it all. You have a very strong work ethic. Many people say that they have strong work ethic, but you have been a living proof of work ethic for the last decade. Where did you get that?
It's in my DNA, and a lot of it has to do with my parents. Like my parents owned a life insurance agency in Ohio. And when I was a little kid, like my sister and I would watch my dad go to the office at 7 a.m, white dress shirt, tie, jacket, and he would go to the office at 7 a.m, and then he'd come home sometimes at 4, sometimes at 5, sometimes at, 8 or 9, 12, 14-hour days. And my mom would take us to school, and then she went to the office also. So as a little kid, it's like I'm watching mom and dad just work their butt off, every single day. So whatever, seeing is believing. And when you're young, you're very impressionable. So my subconscious mind saw working hard over and over and over and over and over again to the point where my mind said, okay, that's normal. That's what you do.
Sure.
So when I got older, I'm like, obviously I'm going to work hard. Obviously I'm going to, work weekends if I need to. Obviously I'm not going to, get distracted. I'm going to stay focused and I'm going to work hard. And then growing up, my parents always told me, listen, you can be whoever you want to be. You can do whatever you want to do. I tell people I kind of had like a cheat code with my set of parents because they were like giving us personal development through their words and also through their actions. Our entire childhood, even my little sister, she's not in the industry I'm in. She was in the first company.
I remember.
It made six figures. Yeah, at 18 years old, spoke on stage in front of 7,000 people. She was barely 18 years old, right? But she's successful in timeshare marketing companies in Vegas, making six figures. You know what I mean? So we kind of just saw work ethic and this positive mental attitude growing up in the house, and we got older and said, okay, that's what we're going to do because that's what we saw. And obviously it worked.
That's great, brother. I do not come from a background of like a family. I mean, me and my brother were raised by my mom, a single mother. But I can say exactly the same, that I saw her working really hard, and I feel that if I work hard, it's because of as a child, I saw that she led me by her example.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Then you grow up and even that your mom and dad let you like become anything that you want. You decided to go to university. I know that you attended ASU.
Yeah, Arizona State University. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you didn't really use that to like become like have your diploma and everything, but you started your business there, right?
I did. At 18, I applied to several different universities. They all told me no, except for Arizona State, and it was labeled the number one party school in the country. I was 18. Obviously, I'm excited to go out there in the sunshine and the pool parties and have fun.
How far is Ohio where you were born to?
3.5 airplane.
Okay.
Hours. Oh, 3.5 hour flight from Ohio, small little Midwest town. Way different, like black and white difference to Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
So I get out there at 18. And, I lose my mind for the first couple of semesters because it's like people are partying Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. I mean, everyone's partying, 7 nights per week, going crazy, going nuts. Somehow, some way, I still found a way to go to class and pass all my courses. And then at 18, freshman year, my mom actually calls me and says, hey, there's this real estate show on TV. And, you should just watch this show and maybe you'll want to do what they're doing. I don't know. Right. So I started watching this show. It's called $1 Million Listing on TV. I see it. The next day, I find it's called the Real Estate Learning Center. I think it was in Mesa, Arizona. I don't have a car. I take a discount cab. I'm 18 and it takes me to the Real Estate Learning Center. I get out. I walk in. The secretary says, how old are you? I said, I'm 18. Mm-hmm. She said, listen, you should go back to school, graduate, and then come back and see us. And I remember saying, it says if I'm 18 years old, and a U.S. citizen, I can become a real estate agent. I want to sign up for classes. So she said, fine, whatever. So it was 90 hours of in-person in the classroom. So I'm doing that. I'm going to school. Yeah. I'm partying my face off, having a fun time. But I get my real estate license. And that was my first real, entry into being an entrepreneur. And I did okay in real estate.
You did sell some houses.
Yeah. And so this is what I did. A lot of the agents didn't want to do rentals. They wanted to only do like sales, like selling a home, right? So I said, I'll do all the rentals because I'm humble. I'm 18, dude. I don't care. I just want to make some freaking money, right? So what I did was, if you listed your property on the internet and it was your listing, I would technically steal all your photos and your description. I would copy and paste it as my own listing. And then I would find the quote renter. Then I would call you and say, hey, I got somebody to rent your property. So it wasn't legal. It wasn't illegal. It was kind of in the gray area, but I was closing deals, making probably $300 a week, $600 a week, doing my thing. But eventually I got tired of picking people up, spending, gas money, because I eventually got a car. And then I would show them three to four homes on a Sunday, and then they would never call me back. Yeah. So I was just wasting time. So I'm like, this isn't the deal.
Airbnb arbitrage without even knowing.
Yeah, it was, dude, I was having fun. I was dealing with people, talking to people, learning sales, learning how to close, learning how to sell in the house, learning how to paint a picture. I would take somebody in a house, like a family, and say, could you imagine Christmas morning sitting in this living room, right? Music's playing, so you can smell the home cooked meal in the kitchen. All your kids are playing with all their, presents. So I was learning to become a master communicator at 18, 19 years old, selling real estate.
That's good, bro. Another show that you mentioned that shaped the lifestyle that you wanted to have, it's Entourage, right? Mm-hmm. I watched that show also. Not all of it, but yeah, it was pretty cool, and you could visualize like being with your buddies and having a lot of money and nice cars and being in Beverly Hills and everything. Yeah. How much did that shape the?
At 16 years old, we all go to my friend Taylor's house, and it was probably 5 or 6 of us, and we go there. We go in his like ups. I remember like it was yesterday. We go into his upstairs room and we watch the first season, the first episode of Entourage. And it's like, Vinny Chase is a movie star. Yeah. He has all his buddies with him. They're like traveling all over Europe, partying, having fun, spending money, nice clothes, nice cars. And I don't know what it was doing to me, but it just lit me on fire. Cause I'm like, yo, I don't know what that is, but that's what I want. And I want it at a very young age. And I was driving my car home, 1998 maroon Ford Expedition. It was raining outside. And I remember the droplets of rain pouring down the windshield. And I was just thinking to myself, I don't know how, but I know. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know how it's going to happen. But whatever I just saw on HBO, on that show Entourage, that is my lifestyle in my 20s. And I attracted the necessary opportunities, people, places, situations to bring me, right, what I really, really wanted in my subconscious mind.
And was that the first thing that you think about when you saw for the first time the network marketing industry, like that vehicle could take you to live like that?
Yeah, when I got approached to do my first company, I said no 7 times.
Oh, really?
Right? Like this guy named Marty sent my dad the products. My dad drank the products. His blood pressure and cholesterol went down.
Wow.
So we got a good health result. And he said, I'm busy, but my kid, now I'm 21. My kid's 20 or 21 years old. He goes to Arizona State, wants to be a millionaire, hates school. He almost got kicked out freshman year. True story. I got handcuffed at 18, escorted off the property on campus by Tempe police. Like it was a shit show to say the least, right? He's like, talk to my son. Maybe he'll want to do it. So he starts talking to me about it. And my initial thoughts are too good to be true. Scam. This is BS. I don't want to do it. And then one afternoon, after I say no 7 times, I get a phone call around probably 3 p.m. Hey, Alex, it's Marty. Hey, Marty, what's going on?
How old was Marty?
Older. Like my dad's age.
Okay, yeah.
50s.
There were no young people doing.
He has kids my age, I think, to be honest. Yeah. And he said, hey, I know you don't want to do this company, but I'm bringing my business partner tonight from San Diego. He's 25 years old. And he makes $10,000 per week. And I remember thinking, I was like, say that one more time. How much per week? $10,000 per week. I said, let me know where he will be. I will show up. I will walk there tonight, And I remember I went to the home office. The company's home office was actually in Scottsdale. I go to the home office. I'm sitting in a little conference room. It's literally like probably 8 people. And this guy walks in late. He's with, I think it was a Houston Rockets cheerleader, whatever. It doesn't matter. But he walked in with an attractive woman. He had a Louis Vuitton backpack on. He had a diamond Breitling watch. And I remember thinking, dude, if this is what you're saying it is, I'm gonna do it. And I remember I go, is this real? And he's like, what do you mean? I said, Marty told me you make 10 grand a week. And he showed me 10 grand a week. I said, I want to do it. He goes, I'm going to help you do it. And I signed up that day. I ordered 2 cases of product in February of 2011.
Wow.
And that was the starting point of everything.
Excellent. This is like kind of 2 questions into one. Like, how long did it take you to reach your first 10K a month? And what was your routine, your DMO to get there?
Yeah, I think month 13 months in the business, I think I hit about $8,000.
Okay.
That was like, it was called presidential. It was like 6 figures, right?
Yeah.
But my first year, I only made like it was either $13,000 or $16,000 total. But then I hit a crazy month and I hit that level where I was making $8K per month. So for the first year, probably the first 6 months, I didn't want to listen to anybody. I didn't know what a mentor really was. I didn't want to follow a system. I didn't want to follow somebody else's methodology or game plan. I was trying to do it all on my own. And I kept falling on my face, making a couple $100 a month. I would build a team. They would quit. I'd build a team. They would quit. And then I eventually said, okay, I'm going to listen to people that have what I want. And I started to do that. My second year was my first 6-figure income.
Wow.
So my DMO, dude, it was just, I was every day just fired up. And I was taking full courses at ASU. Like I was taking 16 credit hours. So I found a way to load all my college courses on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay.
So Tuesdays and Thursdays, dude, I was in class from like 9 to like 7. It was shit. It was terrible, right? But guess what? On Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I could work my business all day, all night. And that's what I did. From sun up to sun down, eyes open to eyes shut. I was talking to people. I was meeting people at Starbucks, Einstein Bagels, Chipotle. It didn't matter. I was calling everybody. I was talking to everybody. And then eventually when we started to build organizations, we started doing these home presentations, we called them.
Sure.
We called them home events where, across the street of where I was living, we used this living room, and every single night, 5 p.m., 7 p.m., we had people show up, do presentations, enroll new people, give them a training. Next day, boom. Hey, you want to do it tonight? Awesome. Alex, what do I do? Jorge, tomorrow, can you bring 3 friends tomorrow? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can do it. Awesome. Bring 3 friends. They would bring 3 friends. And all of a sudden, we were growing from 2 people to 4 people to 10 people to 30. Dude, I kid you not. It got to the point in these homes, we had people sitting on the staircases. We had people, just 200 kids, 200 young people would be in a townhouse. And we weren't even playing it. There was no video. There was no whiteboard. We had a stupid PowerPoint. I didn't even use the PowerPoint. I would get up there and I was giving like speeches.
Yeah.
And it's on YouTube. People go watch this stuff.
Yeah, no, I watched some of that.
Some of it's crazy. I was saying crazy stuff, but we enrolled everybody. And back then, it wasn't $275. It was $500 before shipping and taxes. So technically, It was almost $600 a pop. And we were signing people up. Listen, there was a moment in time, my dad would track the numbers, and he said we enrolled 100 new people every 24 hours for almost, I think it might have went even for a year. Like it was every day, 100 new people on $500 packs every single day around the country and then eventually around the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
You were like fire up doing presentation after more meetings means more money.
I was talking to everybody.
At the end of the day. That's crazy, brother. And how successful related it was to be in, I mean, because I suppose that the first that you invited was the college people.
Yeah, warm market. Yeah.
Yeah. And but how was it helpful, like to be at that age and leaving campus and like?
Oh, of course. I tell people even to this day. I was in Arizona a couple weeks ago. I was in Dallas, Texas a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, even if you don't go to school like a university, you should be networking on college campuses.
Sure.
Tens of thousands of kids At like Arizona State, when I went there was probably 70,000 students, and all of them are from different parts of the world. Right?
A lot of prospects.
I tell people, listen, when you're in your 20s, even 30s, you're 18 to 30, mid 30s, you'll never be more socially connected than that season of your life, right? So you should be networking, building relationships, building friendships. So that's what I was doing, because even today, 2023, people go to school, they don't even know why they're in school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I believe in education. I have a 4-year degree. I'm proud of that, I guess. My mom wanted me to do it, so I did it.
What did you major in?
Well, I eventually majored in strategic communications. I was in the business school, and my freshman year macroeconomics professor, Dr. Filer, I got a D on an exam. And he's like, Morton, see me after class. And I went up to him. I'll never forget it. And he looked at me and he said, you will never make money in business because you don't understand the simple fundamental economics of even the country. How could you ever make money in business? I forget what I said to him. I was respectful though. Yeah. And I remember I left. The next day I went to the guidance counselor. I said, I'm out of the business school. Like that was my trial year to try to get into the big business school. So I was like pre-business. And I remember asking them, there's a famous athlete named James Harden. He plays in the NBA. Okay. He attended ASU when I was there. And I asked the counselor, I said, whatever James Harden's major is, that's what I want to take, because he's going to go to the NBA. So he's going to take the easiest courses. I said, I'm majoring in becoming a millionaire, but I need to do something in school. And she said, communications is what you need to do. So I did it. And that was that.
That's great, brother.
Yeah.
And within those first years, who were the people that you were, the mentors that you look up to? Like, for example, for me, it was you. When I joined into the business, I saw you, but who did you saw?
Right. So I am sitting in my townhouse. It's after an event, probably 10 p.m. There was one other young person in the company. We're still friends to this day. His name's Jed. Super awesome guy.
I know him. Yeah.
So he's like, hey, bro, I'm gonna come see you tonight. It's a true story. So he walks in my townhouse. Everybody already left, and me and him just sit on the couch. And he started rattling off all this wisdom. And I told him this before a million times. Wisdom and knowledge and quotes. Like, if you can dream it, you can do it. And I remember sitting there like, yo, this guy's so smart. And I'm like, what's the secret, man? And he started pulling up videos on YouTube. And he's like, hey, watch this guy. Hey, watch this video. Hey, this guy lives in Phoenix. He makes $80K a month selling face cream. Study him. So Jed actually opened my mind to YouTube University.
Sure.
So then that night, I didn't sleep. He left. I don't sleep. I'm on Google and YouTube. And I'm like, yo, top money earners in network marketing. So I found a couple people, some of their names, I'll say them. You know, Nick Sarnicola was one of them. I was actually started a podcast with him last week, which is funny.
Really?
Yeah, we're good buddies. He's awesome. He's exactly like 10 years older than me. So I'm 34, he's 44. So I see Nick doing his thing. Jeff Roberti.
Sure.
From Juice Plus.
Yeah.
He's made $400,000 a month minimum for, I don't know, 40 years. Yeah. It's like, yo, what? Yeah. So it's Nick Sarnicola, it's Jeff Roberti. Somebody showed me Holton Bugs.
Sure.
And I was like, this guy, wow. And then really the person that taught me how to present through YouTube, and this is a name a lot of people don't remember, Timothy Herr. He was in a company called Secret.
Okay.
And I used to sneak into his meetings and presentations. Oh, really? And eventually my name started to get going. And I remember he caught me one night, not caught me, but he's like, you know, hey bro, like Alex, da, 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 da. So we built a friendship, but there was one video of him and I watched it probably 10,000 times. And it's him in front of a room of probably 14 people. And he was so on fire about lotions and skincare. I said, dude, if this guy can make $1 million a year with foot cream, and I can learn how to speak like that and present and close like that, what can I do with a healthy energy drink and a sexy product, man? So those were some of the people early on that I would study and learn from. And I've met, I think I met most of them now physically. I don't know if I've ever shaken Holton Bugs' hand, but it doesn't matter. The point is the lesson there for everybody watching is if you're in an industry right now, I guarantee there's somebody making 6 and 7, 8 figure incomes. Find these people, study them, and do what they do, and you'll get the same result.
Bro, I was a YouTube junkie also in my my first 4 years in the industry, and I really enjoyed watching Nick Sarnicola, Holton Bugs, you. Yeah, and I'm a firm believer that raised my belief system into the industry, because they all told stories about success comes until 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
So when I didn't become successful within my first year, I thought this is normal.
Yeah.
Like no problem. Yeah. Bro, and you, because of your mentor, you talk a lot about writing down your goals in the present tense. How impactful has that been to your success?
Very impactful. When I met Bob Proctor, I was making $400 per month. I met him in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'll never forget the day. I've told the story many times, but it's it's one of those moments. I really believe we look back on our life, and there were certain moments that led to just the biggest changes in our lives. And I remember I'm making $400 a month. I meet Bob. I don't know who he is. He looks me in the face, in the eyes, and he says, "You're going to do great things in this business if you can stay focused."
That's heavy.
And I didn't know who he was. I thought it was some old guy with white hair. And then I go back in the room, and then they're like, "Hey, the next speaker, everybody get up on your feet for, the legendary Bob Proctor." And I'm like, "Oh, wow, this guy's a big deal." I don't know who I had no idea, right?
Yeah.
But he speaks, and honestly, for a very long time, at least a couple months, probably longer than that, I didn't really understand what he was teaching.
That happened to me the first time.
Paradigm, subconscious, conscious, unconscious competence, I'm frequencies, vibrations. I'm like, yo, this sounds like science class to me. Right. But something about the information just drew me in. I literally just fell in love with listening to this man talk. And by the grace of God, his wife, who I'm actually going to see on Sunday in Toronto, Linda.
Wow. Yeah.
She was a 6-figure earner in our first company.
Yeah.
So we kind of did this friendship deal where he's like, "Listen, man, my wife's young team, obviously they model you, they follow you. If you work with my wife's groups, when you come to Toronto, I'll coach you, I'll mentor you." And I was like, "Okay, done." So when I became the youngest and fastest ever to make $1 million in my first company, I'll never forget Bob, the way Bob was, he said, why were you able to do what you did and nobody else did what you did in the time frame? And I couldn't answer. I tried to say, "Oh, I worked really hard." And he said, "Well, are you the only person that works really hard?" I said, "Obviously not."
Not really.
And then I go, "Well, I have really good parents." He said, "Okay, you think you're the only guy with good parents? They didn't make $1 million, right?" So I'm like, "I don't know. I don't even know what I did." And he said, "Come to Toronto. I have this event. It's called Matrix. You're going to spend 5 days with me, all day, every day." I think people were paying him it might have been $25,000 to be in the room. I had some massive discount for that.
Yeah.
I went up there and I realized what happened to me. And now in that moment in Toronto, I said, "You know what? I changed. My paradigm changed. Whatever caused that to happen, happened. And that's where I am today. I'm going to spend the rest of my life teaching the same information that was given to me."
Wow.
And then in that room, he actually made me stand up in front of everybody in the room. And he said, "I want you to commit publicly in front of everybody to write your first book." And I'm like, I can't say no.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And then in Toronto, I actually wrote the first probably 6 chapters from midnight to 4 a.m. that entire week. I stayed up writing paper and pen. And that was the start of my first book, Dorm Room to Millionaire.
Yeah. That's good. And also it's very amazing, I don't know how to say that, the lineage of knowledge, because your mentor was Bob, but Bob's mentor was Earl Nightingale, and Earl's mentor was Napoleon Hill, and Napoleon Hill's mentor was Andrew Carnegie.
Right.
So you have that level of confidence that what they are teaching is what works, because Carnegie was the wealthiest
man in the world at one time. And then before he passed away, he challenged this journalist, Napoleon Hill. He said, if I get you 50 interviews with the 50 wealthiest people on the planet, will you go interview them, get the information, put it in a book? You're probably not going to be compensated for it for years. And Napoleon had Andrew Carnegie had a stopwatch, and he was timing him. And if Napoleon didn't answer in a certain amount of seconds, I think it was maybe 60 seconds, it wasn't going to happen.
What?
And Napoleon said, okay, I'll do it. And then eventually that led to Earl Nightingale, who was really the first person to ever broadcast on the radio, personal development on the radio. Yeah.
Oh, really?
The Strangest Secret.
Yeah.
And then, the universe and God, one day, a young Bob Proctor gets hired by Earl Nightingale to be like a salesperson. So then Bob worked for Earl Nightingale. And then in 2011, at a water fountain in Charlotte, North Carolina, I bump into Bob Proctor at 21 years old. It's crazy.
It's crazy how things happen. Yeah, brother. Oh, and you were talking about your first $1 million. You were I have a question. You were the fastest in the company or in the industry?
I don't know. The day I hit it, I was actually walking into an event in Montreal, Canada with my friend. His name's Colo Jacob. Really, really big business mogul now in Canada. Very wealthy young guy. And the CEO calls me. I literally can feel myself. It's cold outside. I think it was close to the end of the year. My phone, it says BK on it, BK Barreco. We're still friends to this day. He goes like, hey man, you want to know what happened? I said, what happened? He goes, well, I just paid you and you just you're the fastest ever for me to pay $1 million in commissions to. And I remember I just hung up because I was walking into a home event. Yeah. I was going into a meeting. You know what I mean? So I don't know, in the history of network marketing. I mean, I'm a very humble guy. I don't post my income anywhere, but I would be, I'm pretty confident in the fact that there's probably been nobody else that's earned what I've earned under 35.
Sure.
Probably.
And last week I was hearing a podcast of Ty Lopez, actually. Okay. That he's a friend of you. And he was speaking about, it doesn't matter like the super billionaires who are like 60 and up, but he was talking about Mark Zuckerberg that is a multi-billionaire at, I don't know what he say, like 30 or 40 or something. And he was saying that the real wealth is being rich and being young.
Absolutely.
And that's really
you
true.
don't want to be you're 90 years old stepping out of a Rolls Royce or a Ferrari. It's like, it's cool. It's nice, but you rather do that at, 34. Yeah. Because you have more energy.
Sure.
Right. Like I always told myself, I want to get it done early. Sure. Like I want to do it now when my parents are still young and I can do nice things for them and I can go watch LeBron James and sit on the court side with my dad and watch him dunk basketballs. Like I want to be able to, go to the Super Bowl one day with my dad. I want to be able to, give my parents money every month so they can live a nicer lifestyle than maybe they could if I didn't. You know what I mean? So I always made it a point to get it done early, and that's a great message for everybody watching this. You're a young guy, you're younger than me. A lot of your audience is probably in their, 18, 19 to 30, 35 years old. And most of them are probably in their 20s. Don't waste this time. Like a lot of you watching this, you're distracted way too much. And it's like, do you want to be focused? You want to be focused and get it done in your 20s and 30s, not in your 60s and 70s, man. Sure. Like you have a lot of time to party and have fun and travel and do all the things you want to go do, but you need to put some money in your bank accounts first. So don't waste this precious time where you could be building and growing and evolving and learning and taking your life and your family's life to that next level.
Sure. That's great advice. I'm $40,000 away from my first million.
Wow.
So, yeah. And you've been a tremendous inspiration into for me to get that. So thank you very much for all the value that you've shared over the years and for all the mentorship. And I'm also really happy that I get to work with you like more like closer in the last year. Yeah, it's maybe when people hear this podcast, I already hit my first.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure it's already done. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Another question. It's a quick one. You were the, I don't know, founder of or the genesis of what I believe the most sexy and attractive movement on the whole network marketing industry, because it was for young people. Is the YPR?
Yeah. It started. Yeah, man. I mean, my first convention, it was Las Vegas, Nevada, Caesar's Palace Hotel. I'm making $4,000 per month. And it's like me and my like team of whatever, 50 people there. And the entire convention center is of the age of mom and dad. I mean, it was all, we used to joke like YPR, Young People Revolution. We said like Old People Revolution,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to take, all the credit for it, but, there always has to be a starting, somebody has to light the match, right? For the big fire. And, I saw it at 21 and, I'm super grateful that the CEO backed me. A lot of people, when I really started to get going, a lot of other leaders were like, you got to control this kid. He's too crazy. He's loud. He's cursing. And then the owner's like, listen, he's putting more numbers on the board than all you. You're doing one meeting a week. Alex on Facebook's doing 3 meetings a day. I'm going to back this kid to kingdom come, man. So he's like, run. And we ran for a solid 3.5, 4 years. And, we didn't do everything perfect, but guess what? We brought the entrepreneurial spirit to hundreds of thousands of people. Obviously, a lot was in the US, also over in Europe. And one of the most gratifying things now in 2023 is there are, I don't even know, hundreds of people that were in our first company that didn't make a ton of money in that first company. And today they are top earners in solar, top earners in insurance. There's one guy that runs the ads for like every massive influencer, business tycoon on the planet. I won't say his last name, but his first name's Eddie. And he's like, dude, I was in Vima. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, man. Wow. So it's like everyone, I mean, honestly, like the majority of young people that I see crushing it in America as entrepreneurs, I would argue probably half of them at some point either heard of Vima or were in Vima. I mean, I could do a podcast for an hour on the success stories in other spaces, but they all started. Yeah, I was 17, I was 18, I was 19 years old. I saw you speak. I was on that UVU call and I didn't know what business even was, but dude, it lit me a fire under my ass. And now I'm making $1 million a year, $2 million a year. My company does $10 million a year. Like literally all over the country, all over the world, there are people having massive success and they all say, I don't say it, they say it. Yeah, the starting point was me in that company getting new information.
Oh, yeah, sure. And also top earners within our industry like Matt and Jason. Mm-hmm. They also belong to the YPR movement and everything.
Yeah.
And me in a certain amount of time also.
Dude, you're here, man. You're one of the top, you got to be one of the top earners in Latin America for sure.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Especially under 35 years old. I mean, you're definitely up there. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, and we're just getting started.
That's right.
Like you said back in those days.
Uh-huh.
So, bro, and I think that now, I don't want to say it's easy, but the industry, I don't know what you think, got easier with social media and TikTok and everything. I have people in my organization that do a TikTok and they enroll 40 people.
Unbelievable.
In a week. Yeah. It's unbelievable. But YPR movement was massive and international. So you didn't have you had Facebook and all of, I don't know, MySpace and all of that, but how did you build so large movement without the aid of this social media?
Good news spreads. It started in Arizona State, and then people got wind of it. There was a massive group in Michigan. Shout out to like Luke Hessler, Grady Polson. I remember going out there. It was a different organization, but we were friends, and they had it rocking at Michigan State University. We had a group going at Ohio State. I started flying to Ohio State every few weekends. Massive groups all over Cleveland, Ohio. I mean, Chicago, Florida, UCF. I remember some of the teams down there in Florida, Miami. I mean, it started to spread because you have millions of college age students. The majority of them are not there to be an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer. So they're taking some random degree, partying their asses off, drowning in student loan debt. And they're like, hold up. There's these guys at Arizona State driving free BMWs, making $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $7,000 per month. What the hell is that?
Yeah.
So we started to spread University of Arizona, USC. I mean, literally like all the colleges. I mean, it got Texas State. We had a big group in Texas. I mean, I could stay here forever. Like it spread to all of these different universities.
Like Facebook.
And then Facebook spread. I used to tell people that. I would say, this is like sitting with Zuckerberg.
Wow.
Right before Facebook starts. That's where this is going. And we would have 5 people in the room. And I would say, if you don't see it, that's your problem. I know where this is going in 12, 24, 36 months, $600 to get in. Let's go become millionaires. And it, you know, it spread. It spread like freaking wildfire. I did a lot of Facebook. I remember I would film a lot of selfie videos, like in the car. What, like, yo, this is Alex Morton coming to you live from Mason, Ohio. And today we have 3 events all over the city. And this is my guy, Diego. Like, it just became like a cool thing.
Yeah.
It was like a trending thing where we would do meetings, we would do presentations, we would party, we would have fun, and we were making money. And that thing just went viral through the US.
And I thought that when Bima like ended for you, you were like very misunderstood. And I remember that you were receiving a lot of hate.
Yeah.
But I like this quote: time either exposes you or promotes you.
That's right.
And I remember like every single top earner in the company or even outside the company, they were like throwing
big time.
to you.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't want to say it like this, but you are still here and you are who you are and you have reached to where you have reached.
Yep.
And I don't hear like about them like now.
Yeah, there's no, I mean, all the hate stopped 2018. When I hit certain levels, it's like at this point, like, what are we hating on? Like, he's been doing this for 10 years. He's made X amount of dollars. He's written 2 books. It's like, dude, just, you know, and I like to think I'm a pretty good guy. Like, there's no, I'm not in, some of these idiots are, you know, doing cocaine in the clubs and,
Sure.
you know, cheating on their wives and doing a bunch of dumb shit. And I pride myself in principles and morals and integrity. There's certain things I do. There's certain things that you couldn't pay me to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, I mean, over time, you see who people are.
Sure.
Right. And like my mom always said, when that was happening, my mom said, you know, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. You know what I mean? It's like everyone's like commenting this and that and the third, and they're blasting me on Twitter and Facebook and a couple magazines and a couple TV shows. And it was a tough time. I mean, it really was. You know, I'm not going to say like, oh, I was like Superman. No, I was anxiety, mildly depressed, gained 25 pounds of fat, not happy, stressed the hell out. But in those times, I was leaning on God and I was leaning on personal development. And I always told myself, if I can do it once, I can do it again.
Sure.
And in that season, man, I really tapped in to this dark energy. You know, Tim Grover, who's a friend of mine, somebody that I look up to. He coached Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, and we've been backstage at several events now. And he said some very nice things to me after I spoke a few times. And that meant a lot to me because I'm like, this is Tim Grover. This guy's a big deal, you know?
Yeah.
And he talks about tapping into this dark energy where sometimes it's good to be pissed and upset and angry, right? So back then, my mentality, now I'm like all about love and abundance. I can always tap back into it. But man, 2016, 17, 18, 19, up until COVID lockdown, bro, I was on a rampage. Like my mentality was all these people that said this mean stuff to me and me and my family, I'm going to become so big that you're going to cease to exist. Like my success is going to be so loud. You're not going to be able to fucking go anywhere without hearing my name. And that's what drove me to the point of no return. And I got no problem talking about it because I think it's healthy for people, you know, to create an enemy. It's okay. Like create this enemy and go battle that dude every day, man. In the gym, in the kitchen, with your personal development, with your prospecting, presenting, promoting. Like it's, love and kumbaya and sit around the campfire and do yoga and do breath work and meditate and all this shit. That stuff's good too.
Sure.
But dude, on your first $1 million run or $10 million run, bro, it's okay to have a little bit of that. Like I'm gonna kill you.
Sure, bro.
It helped me.
Yeah. I'm a big believer in that. And Tom Brady and all these big athletes say that like they created an enemy and use that fuel. And I think that I also believe in what you say, like spreading love and
of course.
Yeah. But I don't know if it's like you're more expert in this than me, but it kind of it's into it like ages, like seasons, like you are the season of grinding and not doing it angry, but wanting to defeat that enemy every day.
Like, listen, man, you're right. When you listen to a Tom Brady or you listen to one of Kobe Bryant's last interviews ever with Patrick Bet-David,
sure,
they talk about this Mamba mentality, or Tom Brady's like, I want to destroy you.
Yeah.
Like you think Conor McGregor, his rise when he didn't walk in the ring thinking, oh my God, I just love everybody. He's like, dude, I'm going to fucking knock you back to where you came from. Mayweather, like, listen, the top of the top of the top, the elites, they're animals, they're sharks, they're monsters. I'm not saying be like that all the time. I'm not. I'm a nice guy. Like I want everybody to win now.
Sure.
I really do. At this point, even my like quote unquote like past enemies, I'm like, dude, they have families. Like, God bless, win, get everything you want. Like there's almost 9 billion people on the planet. There's no scarcity over here, man. Like everybody can win. Everybody can be, living their dreams and living their passions and all of that. But at the same time, if you need to elevate your discipline, elevate your tenacity, you need to tap into some of that darker side and be like, let's go. The next 90 days, I'm all in. And that's what I'm doing. I'm focused on this. I have a goal. Anything that has to not do with that goal doesn't exist.
Sure. That's great advice. That leads me to my next question. Then you joined the I Am Mastery Academy. But it's like really weird that you joined the company when, joining now, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But joining back then, they have like 1,000
customers. 1,200 customers. And then it actually cut in half the next week. It's funny. Me and Jason joke about this.
And you already had a name. Not the name that you have right now, but you had a name.
Yeah.
So what makes an Alex Morton goes to a company of 1,000 people?
I was sick and tired of the bullshit in this industry. And there's a lot of it, tired of owners treating you like meat or numbers, tired of just lies, manipulation, nonsense. And I said, like, I'm not going to partner with a company. I'm going to more so partner with like a person, So I was hearing all these rumblings and rumors about, the CEO of I Am Academy and, oh, he's this guy and it's fake and it's fraud and it's this and it's that. And I learned through my own experiences when a lot of people were talking shit about somebody, it's because it's coming from a place of fear. So I'm like, these people are obviously scared of this guy for whatever reasons, So in that kind of like that season where I was looking at different companies, I was looking pretty closely at a travel company. Okay. Called World Ventures. I don't know if I've ever told this story on a podcast, but there was a guy there, one of the top earners, and he was talking to me. This is a true story. I had flights booked to their home office in Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
The night before, my phone rings. His name's Matt. We're buddies. Nothing against him. He's an awesome guy. Nothing to do with him anyway. He goes, hey man, I want to let you know when you come in tomorrow, there are some of the top leaders are a little concerned because of the baggage you bring from your previous company, Vima.
Yeah.
And if it's cool with you, he goes, I hate to even ask you this because obviously you've made, you're a multi-7-figure earner. But he said, if it's cool with you, they would like to be in a room together and you need to come in and kind of like explain yourself a little bit.
Okay.
And I was just like, you want me to come there and basically try to convince people to let me into their company? And he was like, unfortunately, I can't believe I'm telling you this, but that's what I just got. And I remember I'm like, dude, cancel the fucking tickets. I'm like, I ain't going to Dallas, Texas. I'm not
They
going to
lost
walk.
a
I'm not
big-
going to walk in anywhere and tell you why you need to bring me in your fucking company. You know what I mean? Like, get the hell out of here, right? Yeah. So that went, I'm like, all right, bet. See ya. And then Jason Brown, you know, who a lot of people probably know, he's corporate in our company. He's like, hey man, I remember he said like, I know you're looking at companies. I know you don't know anything about Forex or Bitcoin or whatever, but look at this, just check this thing out. And me and Jason were friends in our first company. He was in my team in our first company, never made a lot of money there, but he was always just different. Like his confidence, his self-image was just, he was just one of those guys that was a winner, you know? And he was partnered with Matt Rosa, another guy, didn't make a lot of money in our first company, but just tenacious animal, savage beast, you know what I mean? Like one of the best ever now, right?
Sure.
And I'm like, cool, I'll look at it. So I was actually looking at IM Academy and then a competing company called Wealth Generators at the time.
Yeah.
And it was another Forex deal.
Yeah.
And I remember I got on the phone with one of their people first. And I remember standing on my balcony in Arizona and this guy just talked. He was on the phone for like, it was like 2.5 hour conversation. And he was just ranting about the company and this and that. He never asked me any real questions about me. So he wasn't really interested in me. It was more like selling the company. And then he started talking shit about this Chris guy. And I'm like, okay. So long story short, I fly from Phoenix to Vegas and I bring my dad with me to go meet Chris.
Yeah.
And immediately I'm like, this guy's a winner and he's treating me like a human being, you know? And I remember there were a couple key moments there, not to talk about this too much, but I remember he said, listen, what I have with these products and services and trading and what you have with the ability to build organizations, he was like, brother, together, this could be a big deal. And I just believed him. And he was talking as if his company already had 100,000 people in it. And there were 1,200 people. I thought the guy had the guy had $1 billion company. And I come to find out there's 1,200 freaking people in it. But his vision and his confidence, like the magic this guy was emitting to me, and I brought my dad with me too. I was like, I don't know what it is, man. I'm like, let's do it.
Wow.
So I'm like, let's do it. And we did it.
And it happened.
It happened. And it's still happening today. Yeah.
Wow, bro. That's crazy. It's crazy that, so basically Chris sold you into the future.
Yeah. And I kind of knew like things are going digital. You know what I mean? Like everything was starting to go digital. Every Uber driver's talking about Bitcoin. So it's like, okay, people are tired of selling overpriced products you can buy on Amazon. That's just the truth. Like even in my first and second company, dude, you could buy the product for 35% cheaper on Amazon. How can me and my people compete with Amazon slinging our stuff for 35% less? It doesn't work like that, man. So with this, it was all digital. It was trading education. It was the future. And that compensation plan was the thing that did it for me. I saw 2 and free. I saw 12, $600 a month.
Yeah.
And I saw 500 for 10K.
Yeah.
My first company, I had to have 120 active people in my group. It paid me $400 a month.
Wow.
This was 12 for 600.
Yeah. I'm
like, Chris, if this is even real, everybody's going to eat this thing up, man. This is insanity, right? So it was a perfect storm of opportunity. You know, I don't take credit for it. Obviously, God's grace and a lot of amazing people coming together to do an amazing, amazing thing.
Wow, brother. Talking about bringing the future into the present, you are like a big speaker on higher faculties. So the imagination, what has been the imagination in all of your process?
Well, the imagination gives us the ability to build movies and images in the screen of our mind. And when we hold those images and movies in the screen of our mind and get emotionally attached to them and back it by action, we can produce any result we want in our lives. So I think the imagination started when I was a very little kid. You know, parent-teacher conferences, the teachers would say, you know, your son stares out the window. He doesn't pay attention. At one point, they've tried to put me on some pills, like attention disorder, all this bullshit. And I remember, like, I don't know, my mom or my dad was like, our son, he has no problem paying attention. He doesn't want to pay attention to you.
You're boring.
You're talking about whatever the hell, made up history, which is all fake anyway. I'm not even going to go there.
Yeah.
But it's like you're talking about bullshit no one wants to hear about, man. You know, I was staring out the window, envisioning a better life, envisioning the cars and the homes and the vacations and the impact and what I wanted to go accomplish. So my imagination was firing at a very young age. And even to this day, everything I've ever wanted, I first see it in my mind. You know, for those of you watching this right now, you have to see it in your mind before it shows up in the physical universe. Everything in this studio began in the mind of somebody else. The microphones, the laptops, the iPads, the water, the computers, the TV screens, they were thought about. Then a strategy and blueprint was created, probably on paper or digitally, and then they were built in the physical world. So whatever you want, you see it in your mind, you put it down on paper, and then you build it in the physical world.
That's great. And before wrapping it up, now that you have reached the level of success that you have, and I kind of understand this really good, it's not just about grinding, but now you have time to take care of your health. And now you understand that your health is most important than your money because you want to stay longer.
Of course.
Yeah. So I want to ask you two questions. Like, what's your routine when it comes to first health habits? Like, so I heard you like talk about sauna.
Yeah.
Like health habits, and what's the work routine right now? Like what's your activities, building your business right now?
I mean, I'll tell you what we did today. You know, yesterday we flew in. This morning we woke up. I had probably 4 eggs, avocado.
Okay.
So good proteins, healthy fats. I actually had I actually put a scoop of protein powder in my coffee, 25 grams of extra protein in the coffee. Ate it, drank it. We did resistance training in the gym, Dar and I, for probably like 35, 40 minutes. Nothing crazy. We're not bodybuilders, but there's a lot of science that says you should lift weights for your health, right?
Sure.
Build lean muscle mass, right? So we did that. Then we did 35 minutes of cardio. I put the incline on 10. I put the miles per hour on, like 4.1, 4.2, which is like, I think 6, maybe kms an hour. I don't know.
Kind of, yeah.
Something like that. And then we went in the sauna, sat in the damn sauna and got sweated out all our toxins. And then went into the shower, cranked it as cold as humanly possible. And that's a great routine. And you can do all of that in under 2 hours.
Yeah.
You really can.
Yeah.
Yesterday, before the flight, I did red light therapy bed, PEMF mat that draws all, like, I think it's like the negative ions, or it takes all the bad crap out of your body. I'm not a scientist, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Gary Brecka
is my guy, Did an IV, vitamins, minerals, glutathione, NAD, which reverses your aging process. It literally reverses your aging process, right? So I'm big on health right now. I'm big on the biohacking stuff. I feel my best when I'm eating good, drinking water, working out. I love the sauna. I love cold temperatures. Because it's like, listen, man, disease and cancer, if it hits, disease and cancer don't care who you are. They don't care if you have 5 million people on Instagram. It doesn't care if you have $10 million in the bank account. It doesn't care if you ride a bicycle to work or you roll around in a Rolls Royce Cullinan. It doesn't care. So I want to push disease and cancer and all this shit as far away as humanly possible. And I'm willing to, you can spend a lot of money on it, or you can do it for free. You go put your feet on earth, go put your feet in the dirt, put your feet on a beach somewhere, right? And the earth is going to charge your body up and put you in certain frequencies for free. Taking a cold shower doesn't cost you any money.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like people say, it costs so much money to do what you're doing. No, it doesn't. I can't afford a gym. You have a floor? Do push-ups, do sit-ups, jump up on the damn rooftop and do some pull-ups.
Yeah, sure.
Costs you nothing. It's just, it's excuses. Yeah. But health is a big thing, man. Big time. No doubt.
Can you pack 5-ish step blueprint into their people's first 10K a month within the industry, of course?
Yeah. I would say number 1, get super clear on what you want to accomplish. Like most people, they don't know where they want to go. So you need to set something called a goal. Like number one, set a goal. What do you want? Write it down. Hey, put it in the present tense. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am earning $10,000 a month. You know, if you write it on January 1st, set it for December 31st. Give yourself a year to do it. If you come up short, it's okay. You don't change the goal. You just move the date. I've set lots of goals and I missed the dates, but I still get the goals eventually, right? So number one, set a goal. Number two, understand the direction you're taking. And you do that by, hey, I want to make 10 grand a month. Say we're living in Mexico. Who's making 10 grand a month in Mexico? Find these men and women. Ask them, hey, what should I do? They'll tell you, or watch them, right? There's blueprints. You know, something there is going to tell you to prospect every day, do presentations or invite people to get on presentations probably every day, promote the Zoom calls, promote the events like tomorrow, right? Actively building the business. That's number two. Number three, develop a bulletproof mindset, meaning you're not going to get thrown back when people tell you no. You're not going to get sad when people quit your team. You're not going to get upset when people in your family call you crazy for doing this type of business.
Sure.
Right? Bulletproof the mindset. Number four, build your discipline. How do you build your discipline? Well, you set daily methods of operation and then you do what you say you were going to do. You know, this business is it's not hard. It's not easy. It's simple if you follow the rules, right? It can be little things. I remember in Arizona State, every time I left my apartment, I didn't come back home if I didn't talk to 5 new people.
Okay.
Names and numbers. So tell yourself, okay, I can't go home and eat dinner until I prospect 5 people. So you're not going to go home until you prospect 5 people. Well, where do I go? Go to the mall, go to the Starbucks, go to the sushi bar, go to the discoteca, go to the gimnasio, go play paddle tennis or tennis, go around people and talk to people, man. Give compliments, right? Ask good questions. Where are you from? Are you in school? What do you do for fun? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Just get to know people and then implement a certain strategy of what you're going to say. You know, very simple stuff. I love to stick to, hey, Jorge, if I could show you a way to make an extra couple $100 a month part-time on your phone, would you take a look at something? Mm-hmm. Sure.
That's easy.
Sure. Right? If someone's going to bring you the check at a restaurant, okay, or someone hands you the coffee at Starbucks, look them in the eye, compliment them and say, hey, man, you really got my coffee out fast today. Thank you. That's step one. Step two is very, very simple. Hey, Jorge, I got to run, but listen, man, you would make so much money in my business. What are you going to say to that? Probably. What are they going to say? They're going to ask you what?
Yeah.
What's your business? Tell me about it. I'm late for a meeting. I got to run. Give me your name and number. I'm going to send you a video. Boom. You can do that every day, everywhere you go, man. Right? So I guess number 4 is I don't know if it was 3 or 4, but being disciplined. Right? And then I guess the last step, never miss a training call or physical event you're qualified to be at. Mm-hmm. So what does that mean? That means if you're allowed to be on the call, if you're allowed to be at the event, don't miss it. Show up. I have never missed an event in my career that I have qualified to be at. So showing up is half the battle. And then I guess we'll give a little bonus step 6. Be here 1 year from now.
Okay.
Be here 1 year from now. What if I would have quit? What if you would have quit? You know, year 1 was tough. Year 2 was tough too. I had a leader leave year 2, a very influential young guy. My income fell from, I don't know what it was. Let's just say it got chopped in half.
Okay.
Right? Like one guy left and it got chopped in half. I could have easily felt sorry for myself. Oh, network marketing's bullshit. It doesn't work. You know, could have quit, but I didn't. So be here a year from now and don't give up on the tough days. Keep fighting, keep doing, keep showing up, keep learning, keep listening to podcasts like this, man. Right? Follow people that have what you want. build your, my mentor, Bob Proctor, said, every day you build your business, every day you build yourself. Keep building yourself and keep building your business and don't quit. You're guaranteed to have financial success.
That's great, Brooklyn. If you could have the opportunity to sit with someone and have a conversation, dead or alive, who would it be? Or who?
That's a tough question. I don't know. I don't know why this guy pops in my head, but he just popped in my head. So I'm going to say his name, Muhammad Ali.
Wow.
I shook his hand in Scottsdale, Arizona, but it was towards the end of his life. He was eating at Mastro's Steakhouse, and my dad was there with me and a couple of my buddies.
Okay.
And my dad said, 2 tables from us is Muhammad Ali. And I actually went up to him, and he had Parkinson's, so he couldn't really talk, but it would be very interesting to be able to talk with him for an hour when his mind was all there, you know, and just talk about achieving greatness and success and overcoming adversity, because he had to overcome a lot of things as well, you know? So Muhammad Ali, baby.
That's great. That's great. And lastly, you this is gonna be funny, and I think that people needs to hear, because you told me about some years ago that you were in Paraguay, like in the jungle, and you had to get to an event. Tell us that story.
Yeah, I mean, we were in some part of Paraguay. My cousin was there. I'm not sure if Dar was there. Were you there in Paraguay? No, so he wasn't there. But my cousin was there. A couple of our leaders, a guy named Juan Diego was there.
Yeah,
and he's like, bro, like the drive is like 9 hours because it's like through the mountains and the road's all screwed up and all this stuff. I'm like, yo, what do we do? He's like, bro, I don't know, but there's like 500 people that are already like outside the room. It was in Asuncion, Paraguay.
Asuncion, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know what to do. We start Googling different things, and someone's calling somebody, and all of a sudden there's like, hey, there's this private pilot that has a plane, and it's like a 28-minute takeoff to landing, and they'll take you to the event. So I'm like, awesome, book it. It was, I don't know, I think it was like $2,000, which is a lot of money, but for a private jet, it's not a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
But we pull up to this private jet hangar. Bro, I kid you not. A guy walks out of this office, big belly. Like, and we say he was drinking. He probably wasn't drinking, but it makes the story funnier. He might have been, though.
Yeah.
And he smells like alcohol. And he opens up this like big ass barn garage door thing. Bro, we are pushing a plane out of a shed. Seriously, we're pushing the plane out of a shed. We get into the plane. There's no air conditioning. Our shirts are off. We're drenched in sweat. It's hot as hell outside. The whole time we're praying, it's propellers. Like there's no jet engine. It's like the big propellers. And I'm sitting there just like, God, please, like just please let this thing land safely. And we land, the sun's going down. Dude, I look out the window. The team brought their cars. They turned their headlights on their cars to light a grass field. Wow. We landed in a grass field, and the lighting came from people's cars. Like, I can't make this up. Like, this really happened, man. We go in, we do the event. 500 or 600 people are there. We get back on the plane. We fly that sucker back to wherever the hell we came from. I mean, it's just like crazy. You know, sometimes I think back to some of these different countries I've been in and some of the challenging situations, man. One time we were in Suriname, which is a country like in the, I don't know, the Caribbean or whatever.
Okay.
And we land, and at the customs office, Dar's with me. They take this guy's passport, and like they're talking in some other language, screaming at each other, da 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 da. And like, I'm thinking, bro, we're gonna get like taken, we're gonna get kidnapped. This is insane. This guy picks us up. His name's like Bhagwan. Oh, wow. And he like takes us to this hotel. Just there's so many stories, man. Like I look back and I'm like, it's almost a miracle that so far nothing really bad has taken place, because we've done events in some pretty like vicious areas in the world. You know, we were next to the favelas in Brazil, a place where the police don't even go into apparently. Yeah. I've been all over Mexico. I've been in places in Mexico where they're like, yo, there are no gringos over here, bro. You know what I mean? Like doing presentations. So Honduras, I remember we landed with our security guard, and another guy met us with a bunch of firearms, and they're like, "Yo, hold on to these guns just in case someone tries to like take you guys." Crazy stuff, man.
Wow,
but in the back of my head, I'm like, "Yo, God is protecting.
Sure.
God is protecting us because we're doing good in the world."
That's good, brother. So just one last question, and then give a message to all the people listening to this. I think this is going to be very, very big podcast.
Yeah.
Honestly. What's your mission on earth?
Make a difference and help people, man. I want to impact. I don't have a number. Some people say I want to impact 10 billion, or there's not 10 billion, but 100,000 people, 200,000 people. Number one, I want people to look at me and be like, you know what? You can't have it all. I'm not where I want to be fitness wise yet, but by 35 years old, I'm going to be 10 to 12% body fat. I'm going to be strong. I'm going to look really, really, solid. So my health is going to be in check. Been married over 3 years. That's the best thing I've ever done, right? That's going to be amazing. Eventually be a father, and eventually build a net worth into the multiple 9 figures. So they're going to be like, okay, you can be super successful in business and have success. You can have a thriving, awesome marriage and be a father and be a present father, right? You can be, super in shape, and you can make a large impact all over the world, because there's this thing out there where it's like, you can't have it all. You can't have it all. There's no way. You have to sacrifice one area for this. You have to do this for that. It's like, no, I'm going to prove you can do it all.
Sure. Yeah,
so other people can do it all too.
Tell that to Grant Cardone, right?
Exactly. He's somebody that has proven
he's checked all the boxes.
You can do it all. And that's one of the reasons why I look, there's very few people though. Him and Milet, Rob Dyrdek, those are some of the people that Tony Robbins, those are some of the people that I look at and I'm like, yo, that's the model, right? That's the model. That's where I'm going. That's who I'm tapped into. Let's go.
You have pretty strong relationships outside of the industry with like tycoons. So can you give a quick brief about, is there gonna be breaking the code event?
Yeah, there'll be more. I'm working on something right now that people are gonna see by the end of the year. I'm gonna finally launch like a coaching program, because I get asked from insurance and solar and real estate and other network marketing companies, right? So I'm going to have something, and it's going to be super, super inexpensive, so everybody can be a part of it. But it's going to be an opportunity for me to talk to people and teach them what was taught to me. You know what I mean? So, and it's not going to be like break the code. I had a $10,000 coaching program, and we sold it out with the 30 people. This is going to be super, super cheap.
Yeah.
So people can get into it and build a community, build a network. Because people need the right information, man. There's so much crap on social media. There's so much fake guru, people writing books that never made any money. It's like, bro, what are we talking about? You know what I mean? So I want to provide the marketplace with the real truth about success. So that's what I'm gonna do. But yeah, I mean, I'm blessed to have good relationships with some pretty big, influential people. And my advice, if you want to network with those types of individuals, number one, get in the right room.
Okay.
Get in the right spaces. Sometimes it's pay to play. Yeah. I stroked a check to MILF for $75,000. I've stroked a check to Grant Cardone for $250,000. I stroked another check for $150,000. You know what I mean? Like, these people are busy. It's like, for me, it's like, I can't go to Starbucks with everybody that asked me to go to Starbucks. Sure. Like, I have 24 hours in the day. You know what I mean? So get in the right rooms. Sometimes pay to play for certain relationships, but third, above everything, be so good, people can't ignore you.
That's good.
That's the big one.
That's good. So Alex, to wrap it, I know I say this a lot of times, but can you give a message to people watching this at home? They are in the network marketing industry or any direct sale industry, and they look up to you and they want to do, they're not making money right now, but they are hungry and grinding hard. What can you tell to them?
Yeah, I would say number one, keep going. Number two, don't quit on a tough day. You're going to have tough days. Don't look at people like me and say, oh, it was so easy and it was just this superstar success. And just says, oh my gosh, it just a rocket ship, and just so easy, right? Don't think that, because everybody that's done something great, they had their storms. They had the stuff they had to go through, the stuff they had to grow through, right? So understand, if you're getting pain right now and you're not where you want to be, let it build your character. Let it build your character. And every day you wake up, be grateful, look at your goals and say, okay, today I'm going to build myself and I'm going to build my business. What are the things I need to do today to build me? What are the things I need to do today to build my business? And then execute on those things every single day.
Sure.
That's what you do. That's what I've done since 2011. It's going to be 2024 is next year. So that's 10, 11, 12, 13 years. And I'm like, okay, what do I need to do today to execute, to build me, to build the business, to build me, to build the business, right? If you want things to get better, you've got to get better. And if you want your life to change, you have to be the one to change it. That's the way it works, right? And I tell people, if you're getting the crap beat out of you right now, and you're on your back, if you can look up, you can get up. And you can live to fight another day. And you have a team of people, I'm sure, supporting you, loving on you. Keep listening to people like Jorge over here, and stay tapped into the right information, the right mentors. And, greatness is definitely closer than you think. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much, Alex, for being here. It was a pleasure to learn from you over and over again. And I know that people is going to watch this episode and get tremendous amounts of value. So let's get ready for the event tomorrow. Yeah. And thank you so much for being here.
You got it, man. Thank you.
Chicos, así que este es el podcast con The GOAT, Alex Morton. Estoy muy contento de que por fin lo tuvimos por acá. Vayan a seguirlo en sus redes sociales si es que aún no lo siguen. Alex Morton Mindset en Instagram. Y nos vemos en el próximo episodio. Dale suscribir aquí al canal para que no te pierdas todos los próximos episodios de esta segunda temporada del podcast 3%.